Hey guys, and welcome back to another Spore creation video. For today's creation, we're going to be trying to make Sobble from Pokemon Sword and Shield. The reason why I didn't make Sobble as the first one, I was very tempted as that one did seem to be the more popular one. But the reason why I went with Grookey in the end was because these Pokemon, like I said previously with Grookey, they're very tricky to make. They have very peculiar, very specific body shapes. And when I look at Sobble closely, I just really wasn't sure how to do it justice. It's got very tiny limbs, which anyone who's tried to do that in Spore, you'll know that's you're gonna have a bad time doing tiny limbs. And on top of that, the expression, the open mouth, like, do I include the open mouth? I'm not sure how I would. It'd be, you know, it'd just be like a flat texture and look quite ugly. You know, all that kind of stuff. So I guess, you know, that's why I went ahead and did Grookey in the end, but I don't think I've got much of a choice. I think I just need to give it a go and see what happens. And I'm already struggling on the body. Right, so I thought that the head on Grookey was large. No, Sobble just takes us to a whole new level. His head is about 4 times the size of his body, as far as I can see in the artwork. So we're looking at something like, actually no, bigger than that. Yeah, something like that for Sobble's head and body. We're already off to a really weird start, but I mean, it's how it looks in the creature, in the drawings, so I can't really change it, can I? I guess I could do something a bit like that. I guess that looks a little bit better. Make that a little bit larger. Can I, like, give it like a bit of an onion head kind of shape? Alright, so that's something then. So what I did learn from Grookey was that we also need to make the head wider somehow. I'm not actually sure how I'm going to do that. I may try and fiddle around the parts later on. But we're going to start off with the, you know, the body first. That just looks so odd. Like, I still feel like that the body is too large. Oh god. What if I do it like, I guess that's better-ish. Alright, we'll just see how it goes then. Right, now for the tail. Hopefully the tail will help offset it. Actually, yeah, I hope that'd be the case. So like the tail, we also need the arms and legs. Right, how am I going to do the arms and legs? I can either do those, let's just like get a bit of a large rough tail for now, we'll do it properly in a moment, just so we've got like the overall proportions. There you go, just something really non-serious. Like that, whatever. Right, for the arms and legs, am I going to do this with just really tiny limb parts? I suppose I probably could actually, that'd be a little bit on the thick side. It's actually starting to remind me of Yuka from Ukulele. Huh. I mean, of course, they're both, you know, the same-ish kind of creature, but now I've just added that in. It really reminds me of that. Speaking of which, I did try to make that before and it went horribly wrong. Because these kind of shapes really just don't work in Spore. Right, I think... so what's really annoying is that, like I was saying with the Grookey creation, you know, when you try to have, like, really small limbs, everything's all petite, it kind of, like, just look... It kind of just, you know, all the meshes and stretches and looks a bit odd. I don't think I have much of a choice with this one. You can see how, for example, if I move the tail a bit closer to the head, you get a bit of webbing in between and it gets worse, you know, the closer you have it together. I think I'm just going to have to deal with it for this creature. I think I really am. Right. On the plus side for the feet, what I can do is move the entire thing down, with the camera down. I'm still in love with that. If you're on the latest version of Dark Injections, it's just R and F. The R and F keybinds allow you to move the camera up and down, and being able to move down to the ground is so incredibly good. I love it. Right, we can have that for the feet then, the big old flat bunny feet. Not literally, of course, but, you know, quite close. So we have something like that. Let me move the arms out of the way for a moment, actually. So something like that. They're a bit thicker than I'd like, the legs in general, but again, it's Spore. I can't really do much about it. Actually, I'd say that's about spot on. Come to think of it. Yeah, that's actually about spot on. Right, okay. I'm being a little bit too critical. The body needs to be just a little bit wider. Kind of like that. And then maybe if I move that out slightly? No, I don't think that's required. That is... It looks really odd as a creature. As a Spore creature, I should say. But when I compare it to the drawing, it actually looks quite spot on. So you really are going to need that comparison. But now, once again, the head just feels like the wrong size. Oh, actually, that neck there is absolutely perfect. There you go. Now the head's got to be so much bigger. That just looks so silly. But it's how it is. It's how it actually is. Oh boy, this is going to be the same struggle again. Right, now for the arms. How am I going to do the arms? So in the drawing, it's kind of got his arms in a bit of a weird, like, position like that. But do I just make the arms float? Or do I just make them, like, do I use an invisible foot and have them, like, actually be on the ground? I'm not sure. I think I'm going to have them just float. It's going to look really, really odd. But that is how it actually is. So yeah, I think I'm just going to have to mimic it. Let's go ahead and use this piece here then. That could be, like, the weird little thumb claw thing. Like that. Actually, now that I look at it again, thinking, I may actually have to make that entire bit there just smaller, more like that. And actually to find the hands. Right, it's not stretching or webbing to the feet. So that's good, that's what I want. It's right to not do that. So something like that then, I think. Okay, that looks okay. And then try again. With these little handy bits here. At least that way, you know, the tip of the hands or the tip of the fingers, whatever it is. At least this way they're a bit more consistent. Since if I just slapped it on top of the limb, just the thumb on top of the limb, it would have looked a little bit weird there. I think this will be a much more consistent and probably, you know, a little bit more better defined. Right, let's go ahead and flip that over, rotate that upwards, and there we go. Now we have the strange little handy claw things. I definitely can see the appeal for Sobble. It definitely is, like, probably one of the cuter ones out there. But my god, is it strange to me. Like, when you really focus on the proportions, it is an odd one. It truly, truly is a bit of an odd one. And it's a pain because that is as small as I can make the limbs. So the limbs are a bit chunky, but that actually doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad. It's a bit too thick, but I think it's acceptable. You know, again, for a small creature. Right, I quite like that actually. Good. Progress. Tail. Right, let's focus a little bit more on the tail then. Since I just did a very quick, short run through. So let's go ahead then and... It's actually going to be quite tricky to do this, come to think of it, because of how close it is to the rest of the body. And I'm actually going to have to make that bit there much larger. How far does the tail go out? The tail's about the size of his head. Right, so that's going to be really quite large then. So maybe something like that? Or make it just a little bit smaller. Yeah, something like that, but I feel like it needs to be closer to the body though, that's the only thing. So maybe like... let me see, like that. That is actually spot on. Again, we're making some decent progress actually. This is going quite a bit better than Grookey did. Considering I thought this would be one of the hardest ones. This is actually going significantly better. Okay, yeah, I like that. Good. Good. Right, now for the head. Now for the head. So, like I said then, God, the head. It just reminds me of that robot from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I can't remember its name. The really depressed robot. It really is reminding me of this right now. Just the sheer size of the gargantuan head compared to the rest of the body. Oh dear. In fact, you know, just to really nail it in, if anyone probably doesn't know or doesn't understand the movie I'm referencing, we just have, let me see, just get that great big depressed looking mouth. Like that. And then like a couple of triangle pieces, like, there you go, it's that robot. God damn it. Right, but no, it's not that. Right, let me think then. How am I going to do this? So an interesting thing with Sobble is that it's kind of got the, it's overall a bit of a darker coloration, but his face is a much lighter colour blue. But then the way that the face is kind of like, the way it's patterned is a little bit interesting. It may require some really ugly techniques, which I just hope, you know, work well in the end. What I probably am going to have to do is just get that ever so slightly wider face. I'm just really hoping that this is okay in the end when it comes to texturing. That is my main concern. So I do need that slightly wider face, maybe like that. Okay, I hope that's acceptable. Maybe if I pull it forward a bit, it will give it a bit of a jawline, which I don't think is much of an issue. Yeah, like that. Okay, I think that'll be okay. I think that will be okay. Right then. So we have that. Then, yeah, this is going to be tricky. I'm trying to think of the neatest and cleanest way to do this, and that is the hard part, is doing this neat and clean. Maybe I can just use that part that, no, it's a different colour, that's the wrong colour entirely. But I might not have a choice. Let's use this colour here. So let's say coat spheres, so whatever texture I use to paint in the coat of the creature will then be inherited into this part here. And what I need to do is to basically cover in the entirety of its face, like the immediate facial areas. So a bit like that. Let's go ahead and push that inwards. I want it to be as close to the face as possible. This may not be very good when it animates, I'm not sure. But let's be entirely honest, when is Spore ever good at animating? It's something I've just long since stopped caring about. Which I know might be a little bit disappointing, and I do apologise for that. I just tend to find it really does just, you know, more frustration than satisfaction in the end. I find trying to get things to animate right is just extraordinarily frustrating. Plus, hey, you know, they're only in my game, so I'm the only one who has to suffer. Right, let's get that nice coloured chest. So every part that is currently green, in the final rendered creation will be a nice pale blue. A nice baby blue. I could just use the sky blue here, the light blue sphere, but I figured it's the wrong shade. That's a coloured sphere, as nice of a colour it is, it's just a little bit too saturated. Just ever so slightly. Whereas the baby blue on the Sobble is a very, very pale blue, very subtle. And I want to try and get that. Because very, very simple things, such as like the very basic shading of the creature, really can make like a surprising difference, especially if we're making recreations. If you're making a recognizable character, those really, really subtle, you know, hues, they matter. They really do matter a lot. Right, get that little bit in the neck there as well. And good. Okay then. Like I said, the animation may be a bit funky, but we're just gonna work with what we have here. Let's quickly save it. Fantastic. Right. I do need to add one more bit of blue around the cheeks. Fortunately, the cheeks are like covered by a blue part, kind of like how Pikachu has the big red cheeks, so the Sobble have the big blue ones. So fortunately, that will actually help deal with any, you know, any ugly artifacting or clipping here. So I don't have to get it to be too perfect, just, you know, I need to get like the majority of the side, like basically like that. All of that. So whereas the bottom half looks very nice and smooth, the upper half looks a bit jagged, that's fine, I can just cover it later on with the darker blue. In fact, I may actually move on to that now. So for the darker blues, I'm going to use the detail sphere. That way, again, just like with the coat sphere, when I texture this in later on, any parts that, or any part of the body I colour with the detail colour will inherit into this. And I'm going to want that to be a little bit more bulbous, not quite as flat. Give like a bit of weight. It is 3D after all, so we may as well give things a little bit of 3D effect. And I'll move it up to about there. It's a bit of an oval shape, so I think, yeah, like that would be quite good. And I actually need that same part on the tail as well. On the tip of the tail. Which, now I think about it, I might actually just use a full sphere for that. Kind of like, yeah, there you go, kind of like that. It's a bit, actually it's a bit too pronounced. But that is a lot better. There we go, like that. Yeah, I quite like that. I think that looks good. Good stuff. That's the only blue I can see, actually. I'm not sure if Sobble has any more blue around the back of their body or anything. It's just not there visible in the picture. So I'm going to have to assume that this is the best that we can currently do. I have to assume it's close enough. Right, now for the eyes. I'm going to assume for the eyes, because it's a very pale creature, I reckon it'll be the same as Grookey, where the eyes will kind of, or the white of the eyes will fade in with the rest of the colour. So I'm actually going to start with a black eye this time. Last time I went with the white, and then I made a black outline afterwards. This time I'm going to go straight for the black. His eyes are really spread apart, aren't they? Oh god, this looks horrifying. This looks absolutely horrifying. Right, and it does meet the little cheekbones there. The little Pikachu colour spheres. So let's go ahead then and maybe make it a little bit bigger. Oh god. The black eyes are utterly terrifying. And if I move it out, like there you go, like that. So it's going to be poking out quite a bit. I'm not sure I can really do much about that. Let's just see how it goes. Now we have the actual white parts, the real eyes themselves. And we'll cover in the absolute majority of the black we can, enough so they actually has an outline still. Actually, come to think of it, I'd probably be better off doing this with the dark blue instead. At least that way, the black isn't overpowering. If there was a bit of black that was kind of showing behind the eyes, because this is kind of popping out quite a bit, any black that would have been showing would have been quite eye-catching in a very, very bad way. I think this way, any part that is, you know, poking out a bit too far, I think this would be a lot more forgivable. It wouldn't be quite as eye-catching. So let's try that again. Let's make it a little bit thinner. So it really is like a very tall oval shape. Like that. In fact, as long as I got a majority of it, I really shouldn't need to do the entire thing now that I think about it. So I think, yeah, that there will be quite acceptable. As long as the upper and lower parts of the eyes are covered, I think that is enough. And then, just for the sake of my benefit, I'm going to quickly change the colour of the base body into that. That way, there we go, I can really see where the white is. And get a much, much better impression of how it connects everything else. Right, let's get that as big as we can. And get the eyeliner in, essentially. Bits like here is very, very hard to commentate because I'm just nitpicking it, and you can't really describe nitpicking very well, I find. I'm just trying to have the white bit cover as much of the blue bit as I possibly can, while having just a little bit of the blue bit poke through. That way, again, we can see the outlines. So something like that should probably be about spot on. Let's just quickly have a look and see. If I make this colour here, that'll be the light blue. It'd be very, very rough colours for now, and that'll be the dark blue. Actually, let's make it a much darker blue. There we go. Very, very rough colours. Yeah, that about does it, actually. It's a bit jagged, but that's really all I needed. All I needed was a bit of a outline, and like I said, how at the top there it's really quite highlighted or defined. If that was black, it would have been very distracting. Because it's a blue instead, that is quite forgivable. Good, I do like that. Again, the colours are entirely temporary, just sort of for the sake of actually seeing where everything, you know, lies. Now for the iris. The iris is about the same colour, actually, as the other darker blues, so that's going to make things a little bit easier. Just go ahead then and get those bits there, like, ooh, merge it into the white, like that. Oh, that's the wrong thing. There we go, perfect. I want to get that darker, or no, that lighter shade. I want to get that lighter shade. What's going to be the best way to do that? Probably with this, actually, I reckon. This will hopefully be only subtle. Actually, I don't think it will be. Ah, better idea. Nail downs. I will use a light blue nail down for this. That way it'll be a different shade, but I have a bit better control. I think this shade may be the most appropriate, the Indigo 02 one. Let's go ahead and make that as wide as possible now, make it as small as possible, that way it's very, very flat. And, I mean, a bit, there you go, a little bit smaller actually. And just have it around the bottom. The bottom of the iris, and that should be about all I need. It's very, very subtle, hopefully, but about it. Good. And then Sobble has a white pupil. What is it with these Pokemon having white pupils? I mean, I'm pretty sure most animals don't have white pupils. I mean, I know obviously it's a cartoon, but still, it's kind of weird to do. I guess it does make it a little bit cuter though, in a weird way. Yeah, it's the anime eyes, isn't it? Yeah, that's gonna be it then. It's just gonna be like the over-exaggerated light shines or light reflections. And there we go. Now we've got the two bits of white in there. It looks creepy at the moment. I'm really hoping it looks better when it's actually rendered. Right, now for the mouth. For the mouth, do I want to give it that strange or big open mouth appearance? But I can't do an open mouth in this because it's all flat and pre-made. So I can't make it hollow. So do I just give it the appearance is open? I think I have to. I think to, you know, since a lot of people like Sobble and assume a part of it's the expression, I think I have to respect that. and just make his mouth open. So let's get that really weird pinky purple colour, isn't it? Let me think. That weird pinky purple colour. Do I have any of those? I have that. That's about close enough for the inside of the mouth. And around here, no, none of that really works. If I combine that with this, that might do it. It'll look quite weird. Hopefully it's enough. Let's move that to the side then. Get the little tiny tongue out. Oh god, it looks so odd. I think worst case scenario, I may have to go ahead and just make the mouth closed. Which I really hope people won't mind. But I really don't think I'm going to have much of a choice. I think it's just going to look too strange. Right. I'm going to try and... yeah, something like that. Have it all smooth together. Have it be a bit seamless-ish. The tongue is kind of poking out a little bit. I don't think that's much of an issue. I will make it a little bit smaller just in case. Something like that. Oh god, that looks so odd. And then, of course, little nostrils. Let's make that all nice and really, really tiny. They are actually super tiny on Sobble himself. So have that about, yep, there. That looks horrifying. Right, so what does that actually look like then? Not bad. Actually quite bad. It's staring into my soul. Okay, maybe I'll look better when the colours are actually real. Like I said earlier, I was making this point just a moment ago, about how when you use the wrong colours, it does throw everything off balance. I'm hoping it's just that. Let's get that little pattern on the top of the head there, and then we'll work on the crest. And hopefully it will look okay by the end of it. Because right now, it's got a very, very terrified expression. Right, that was weird. Let's try... there you go, I think that'll be okay. Nah, it's not quite okay actually. Let's make it a little bit more defined like that. I don't like the way it sticks out, but it has a cleaner shape. Yeah, I think that'll be okay actually. And it's about the right height. Well, actually, it should be a little bit lower, shouldn't it? Otherwise, yeah, it's about the right kind of height and length and everything. There you go, like that. I think that's okay. And then for the actual crest thing, I finally remembered to reinstall the correct version of size Pandora's Toolbox, and I actually have the cylinders, which is great because I'm going to need them right now. So, cylinder, let's get you to be all nice and thin, like that, and let's have you gradually get thinner, right? And like that, there we go. So we have that big tall one there. And the actual crest itself is about the size of his head as well, actually. I have to admit, everything is as weird as the proportions are, they definitely are consistent among each other. There's a lot of like mirrors going on. It does make it a lot easier to measure things. Right. Now having a curve in the crest is going to be very, very tricky. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I'll try in a moment, but what I'll do first is have the nice bright yellow part. Like so. Oh, thank God I can pull this far out. Sigh, I absolutely love you. The fact that I can just pull this far away and have it just sit like that is, oh God, you can't do that with other parts. It is just so wonderfully convenient. Right, then we have that curve like that. There we go. Okay, that's actually not too bad. It's a bit jagged, it's a bit sharp, but again, for Spore, it's quite acceptable. And it will have that little piece at the right, about like that as well. Probably a little bit lower down. There we go. Excellent, excellent. I am liking that. Yeah, the bit of the crest here really is much sharper than I would like, but I'm just not sure I can do much about it. A lot, you know, aside from a ton of nitpicking. Well, let's try it actually. It's been a fairly fast-ish creation. I've actually not checked the time yet, so I'm hoping it's been fast-ish. So let's go ahead and spend a little bit more time on the crest there. Make just a little bit shorter. Get rid of those two bits of there. And then go ahead and try and get that curve in. So now it's a lot less dramatic. We'll make that little bit there thicker as well. And hopefully that should be quite a bit better. Yeah, it does look a lot better. It's still not perfect, but I'm actually a lot happy with this. Make that a bit longer. There we go. So now it's getting quite a bit thinner. We'll make it a bit longer. Like that. And then... oh, wait, curve that down slightly more. There we go. And then for the final piece, right at the tip. Like that. Make the whole thing smaller again so it kind of flows. And then just... yeah, there you go. Sharpen out the end there. And... oh, wait. It's not animating. There we go. Do that. There we go. I think that's okay. Right. Now for the colours. I'm going to do the same thing like I did last time. And save it quickly. Let's open up GIMP. My little cheaty Spore colour program. Right. Let's wait for that. And let's get our image in. Now, just like I did last time, it's a little bit cheaty technically, but hey, it's modded after all. I may as well take advantage of the mods. Let's get all the colours we want. So it's going to be HTML for the main part of the body. And we'll chuck that there. It's also a shiny boy, so we'll give him a bit of a shiny texture. Let's get to the underbelly part, the face, the underbelly, all that kind of area, like that. And that'll be the coat. It really is terrifying. And then we'll get the darker blues there, the little patterns and accents. And that can be the detail part. Right there. And how does that look? Okay, that actually looks a lot better. That does look a lot better, but the face is terrifying. God damn it. How do I make the face less terrifying? I think I'm just gonna have to give it a closed mouth. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. I really think that it needs a closed mouth. Maybe if I make it like a really small, little, innocent closed mouth. Like, yeah, like that. I found the nostrils are a bit high. Actually, they are a bit high. If you compare it to the under part of the eyes, they're right in line with the lowest part of the eyes. There you go. So that is a bit more proportional. I like it. I actually quite like it. It's really odd looking. It's really, really odd. And the outline of the eyes are a bit much. So funny enough, whereas with Grookey, the white of the eyes kind of was a bit too similar to the green. This time around, I actually felt like that the eyeliner there is just not required. So let's try that now without the little eyeliner part. Don't spaz out. Okay, thank God it didn't spaz out. Right. I just don't like how the eyes are like slightly poking out. Okay, let's try that. I really like that. I actually like that a lot more. It still needs a bit of work. It still just has that really, really weird raised appearance. Alright then guys, there you have it. With a little bit of tweaking done, try to make the eyes just a little bit flatter, a little bit more, you know, complements the shape of the head. And, you know, a little bit of shading, there we have it. I actually really quite like that. Is that, like I said, the animations aren't really that great, especially when it walked. It's so derpy looking. I just love how the head kind of like turns in that really awkward way. But otherwise, I actually really like it, considering how this is going to be the hardest one. I was looking forward to this one the least because it has such a characteristic face and the limbs are so tiny and petite. I like how it came out. I really do. I think having the mouth being a red shade instead of like a blue or a black, I actually think it's just that little bit needed to, you know, have it be familiar to the actual Pokemon creature. Otherwise, yeah, I'm actually really happy about that. I think that came out a lot better than Grookey did. I think Grookey was a little bit derpy. This one is also a little bit derpy, but that is Spore for you. I feel like I'm trashing on it a lot lately. I'm very sorry. But as you can tell, these things are... oh, Jesus. But anyway, these things are very tricky to make. But it's a good bit of fun, though. It's a good bit of fun. And it definitely takes me out of my comfort zone. In a way I quite enjoy. I really do like making these creatures. I love making Pokemon creatures. All the nice bold colours. They're very fun to do. So yes then, guys. I very much hope that you enjoyed that. Hope you learned a bit of something there. And of course, I hope you're looking forward to School Bunny, which will more than likely be the next one. So, as always, friends, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all next time. Cheers.